Good morning from the farmer's garden. I'm one of the farmers and I'm in the kitchen again. Today we're going to be making quiche. Egg pie is what my kids like to call it. So this is a great way to use eggs, and it's also a great way to use some seasonal vegetables depending on which season it is. I'm actually not going to be using just vegetables from the garden today, mostly because what I have the most of right now is squash and zucchini, and I don't think that'd be good in there. So we're going to use broccoli, peppers, some tomatoes, onions, and we're going to use that in our quiche and make it nice and delicious. So we're going to start with the crust. So give me a second to get you adjusted where you can see well, and we'll start there. Okay, we're going to start with the crust, and I'm going to use a press-in pie crust. You can do a roll-out crust if you want, but I just love doing this press-in. It's so much more simple. So we start with flour. Because this is a deeper pie pan than most, I will be doubling it, but when I post the recipe in the description, I will just do a single crust recipe. So in mine, because I'm doubling it, we're going for 3 cups of flour. And we need 2 teaspoons of sugar. Oop, I didn't grab the sugar. Nope, excuse me, we're doubling. 4 teaspoons of sugar. I gotta do math. Okay, there's the flour and the sugar. Next will be 1 teaspoon of salt. That's already doubled. 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we need 1 cup of cooking oil. And 4 tablespoons of milk. Put the milk in with the oil. That was 4. We whisk that together so that the oil and milk is kind of mixed. Obviously they don't mix well. Looks kind of fizzy bubbly there. Okay, kind of stir that salt and sugar into the flour. And then we're going to mix this straight in the pan. No extra dishes, right? Now I am making a larger one because 1 quiche tends to not be enough for us. So we just have to get that mixed until everything is moist. And that flour from that side. I do lots of roll-out crusts too, but this is my favorite for when I'm in a hurry. It's 1 pan, so you're not making extra dishes or messes for yourself, and it really tastes delicious. This was my mom's recipe, is my mom's recipe, and like I say, I will be posting this in the description below as well. All right, so everything is nice and moist. So now we just press it into the bottom and up the sides of the pan. And this pan is deeper than most pie pans. It's still only 9 inches, but it's deeper so that we get more of the egg goodness in there to fill up these hungry children around here. All right, and that's making a good thick crust on the bottom. Alrighty. All the way up the sides. Confession, I'm terrible with the top edge of a crust. If you do the fluting or any of those things, go for it. I just make the top edge rustic. It's just a nice rustic edge. That's code language for I leave it like it is. Okay, so there we go. That's pressed up the sides. It's in the bottom. Kind of get it in there evenly. And then we will prick it a couple times for when we bake it and set it aside. Now I'm going to go and preheat the oven and then we'll get started chopping vegetables. Okay, so I'm about to get started chopping vegetables. I've got broccoli, peppers, tomatoes, and onion for the veggies today, and then we've got cheese and diced ham. And that's all we're going to use. So we'll go ahead and get started getting all that cut up. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, excuse me, I'm going to be chopping the vegetables and then just dropping them straight into the crust there. So got some onion here. I like to make the onion nice and thin so it cooks down where the kids don't notice it. Okay, so onions into the crust. All right, next we have bell peppers. And these are from the garden, obviously. I've got 2 out, but I may just use 1. We'll see what this looks like all chopped up. So again, I make it thin so it'll cook down kind of soft. If I have any professional chefs watching this and you're freaking out at my knife skills, I apologize. I feel like I'm probably not reaching any professional chefs just yet. All right, so there's the bell pepper. Again, that goes into the crust. Give it a little toss there, kind of mix those together. Next we have tomato, and I do have a mushy tomato, so I probably won't get to use the whole thing. I'm gonna kind of cut off those bruised spots there and cut off the stem end. Yeah, I'm not down to much tomato at this point, am I? And this is such an easy recipe to just use whatever vegetables you like. If you like carrots, you can do that. You can do, whatever you want. This is kind of how the kids like it. This is one of those things that when I make it, they just dig in. So there's the tomatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 tomatoes today. Again, cutting off the bruised parts on this one. I believe these are the Mr. Stripies. Aren't they pretty? They smell really good too. Alright. Oh, that peeling's kind of stiff there. There we go. That one all chopped up. Okay, and next is broccoli. I use a lot of broccoli. Broccoli is hands down the kids' favorite vegetable. They will fight over it. So I'm not sure I'm going to use this whole head. I think I'm going to just take off some pieces here and see how it looks with that in there. There we go. No need to be precise. It's all going to cook down together in there. You just want to kind of have it all bite-sized. See how that looks. Yeah, I think that'll be plenty right there. All right, so there's all the vegetables in there. We're just kind of mixing them together. And now we are ready to add the ham and the cheese before we do the eggs. So there's that. Move some of this out of the way here. Wash the broccoli off my hands. All right, so the oven is preheated to 375. Come on, Ham. It's not going to open. There it goes. All right. So we're going to eyeball this. I measure and I'm precise with jelly, and I'm precise with baking. But when I am cooking, nothing is precise. So we're going to go for a couple of good handfuls of ham in there. Put that over the vegetables, kind of mix it down between them. And then the same thing with cheese, and then we'll get started on the eggs. And I got all the packages that won't open today. Come on, cheese. There we go. All right, so cheese over the top as well. All right, so I'm gonna show this to you. We've got the vegetables, the ham, and the cheese, and that has pretty much filled up the crust. All right, so I'm gonna kind of clear away the vegetables, and then we'll do the egg part of the quiche. Okay, we're gonna get started with the eggs now. I've got 10 eggs here, already washed, and we're gonna crack these and scramble them. Okay, so these are fresh eggs. We will have plenty of eggs with us at market this week. Eggs are also available for pickup at the farm in Chapel Hill, or they're available for porch pickup in Liberty City. Lots of ways to get eggs if this is what you want to try to make this week. And I'm making it for breakfast today, but we also love to eat this as a light supper after a busy day, or when we're kind of feeling too hot to eat much, which happens a lot in the summertime. So very versatile meal. There we go. All right. So that's, ooh. All right, there's 10 eggs. Wash my hands. Okay. So I'm going to do a splash of milk in here, just like if I was making scrambled eggs. And I'm going to do the salt and pepper actually over the quiche rather than in the eggs. It just seems to kind of mix better that way. So there was the pepper, and there's the salt. Okay, so we'll scramble these. Whoops. And with these fresh eggs, you kind of have to puncture each yolk to get them to scramble good. Can you see that? Okay, there we go. And we pour that over. All right, so the vegetables are already in the pan, and we are just pouring the eggs over that. So you'll have to kind of stir down in there to get it to go in good. Oop, there's a yolk that got by me. There we go. I feel like I actually may need a couple more eggs in there. Nope, nope, I think it's going to be fine. All right, so we kind of get all the eggs and cheese and ham and vegetables stirred together. And this is ready for the oven. The oven is at 375. So we're going to pop this in and let it bake. All right, I just got the quiche out of the oven. We're gonna cut it and see how it did. This one is thicker and it does have all those vegetables, so I expect it to be a little bit more soft set than most of them. This took about an hour. Like I say, this one's a lot deeper than most quiches. Trying to get everybody full. And it is still super hot. Normally you would want to let this cool first, just a little before trying to scoop so it doesn't completely fall apart on you. Got all those veggies in there as well. All right. So there you go. Yummy, yummy quiche. Thank you for joining me in the kitchen this morning, for watching me make quiche. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Hope you learned something. Be sure and tell your friends about us, like and subscribe to the channel, and come back when you can stay longer.